Anything else that you could tell our listeners who are wanting to be able to just kind of bring humor into their dialogues? It's just any final tips.
Let me take a look. Let me think. You could have some icebreakers. There are things though. I think if you do have, there are a few things like in comedy, you have a routine. Now, we don't have a quote routine in pro-life dialogue in the sense that every word is scripted, because that would be inauthentic. Although you kind of do have a routine in the sense like if someone brings up bodily rights arguments or whatever, the checkpoints you're going to get to.
Yes.
So similarly, I think that you can have certain checkpoints that you're obviously going to get to in a multitude of pro-life contexts. So for me, if I'm doing pro-life sidewalk outreach and we're talking to a woman, and we might bring up like baby showers or whatever, what I mean? Or we might bring up like, hey, do you know that we give people free baby showers? And let me tell you something, we hook people up, man. Like when they get these baby showers, they feel like they're on The Price is Right. So, I mean, like you can like have a few little things that you plan on sneaking in.
Right.
That, hopefully
prepared.
They're prepped. They could be funny, but even if they just are lighthearted and jovial and like flip the script, notice you don't always have to make somebody laugh to put them in a good mood.
Yes.
Right. If they just know you want to help them, and that you care about them, like that's huge. That is enormous. So,
there was a point that I was about to make about the Price is Right thing. It's like that's not for me, like a laugh out loud joke. Like it's not, I don't feel like it's that funny, but it's like, I feel like, and I think we might've said this the last time we talked about humor and dialogue. It's like, it's the fact that it's either trying to be funny or you're trying to be lighthearted. Again, it's flipping the script so much. Like, I feel like that's the more important thing than like how objectively funny this like particular line is. It's the fact that you're using something that's lighthearted and fun, I think is most of the goal there.
Absolutely. And delivery is so clutch. I mean, you want to look lovingly confident and smile. I mean, you would be surprised how radical, like what kind of different trajectory having a smile on your face can catapult a conversation into, right? Just looking like, and that's the thing I tell my stand-up students all the time. They go on stage and they'll have their routines, but they're not smiling. And all of a sudden they smile and it's like a first date. I mean, you got to think about it in that context. If you're performing on stage for the first time, think about it like a first date. This audience probably not seen you before. Yeah. This is their first impression of you. So if I showed up on the first date and I'm looking tense, morose, a little anxious, all of a sudden that is going to, I think, be a little bit infectious.
Yeah. It makes them feel that way too.
Exactly. Versus if I look lighthearted, bubbly, smiling, joyful, just turns down the temperature on the intensity of the situation a little bit and kind of can infect them, hopefully, with that same kind of positivity. So even if it's just a little bit of a seed that is planted. So I think that is absolutely huge. Yeah, I think that's really, I mean, so just that would be like something I would say is smile and confidence, because if you act like it's life or death, then all of a sudden, they're probably going to be a little more anxious as well.
Yeah. I love that thing that you said about like kind of thinking about this ahead of time. Like, I feel like people could rehearse these checkpoints that often happen. Will happen in every conversation, but will happen sometimes like on their own a bunch of times in the same way that I rehearse a talk. And then like another thing that came to my mind when you were talking about that was like I know sometimes the best lines I've used in talks didn't get pre-written like while I was rehearsing for a talk. Is something that happened during an actual performance of, the 50th time I gave a speech. So suddenly like something came to my mind in the moment and I said it and it worked. It's like, okay, write that stuff down. Like if you have a funny moment in a dialogue, even if you're Sidewalk counseling, like try afterwards, like make a note of that, because then you might be able to use that every other time that you talk about baby showers or whatever, those checkpoints in the future. So try not to kind of lose track of those things. Because as you kind of, I think, listen to comedy, you're going to start finding yourself, your instincts are going to get sharper, and you're going to come up with things even in the...
I think that's a great point. Absolutely. I mean, if you literally have a Rolodex of one-liners that have worked out there, you've seen put smiles on people's faces, even if they're not funny, but you say, when I say this, I consistently make somebody less anxious, more joyful, more receptive to the message, please write that down. In fact, you're inspiring me. I need to do that. But yeah, that's a really, really great idea.